You want to know the truth? A woman doesn't miss you because you flood her phone with messages. She doesn't miss you because you're always there. In fact, the more you push, the less she feels. Missing someone comes from absence, from silence, from mystery. It's not about giving more, it's about becoming unforgettable. Stay with me, because I'm about to reveal how to make any woman miss you badly, the secret she'll never admit out loud. If you're new here, welcome to Psychology Insight. We break down human behavior, attraction, and the deep truths about relationships so you can understand people and yourself better. Hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and let's get started. 1. Don't add to the noise. Break the pattern. Let's be real. Most guys think they can win her attention by trying harder than every other man around. They send more texts. They like all her posts. They try to be the one who's always there, ready at a moment's notice. They believe effort equals love. But here's the secret. Effort doesn't always equal attraction. In fact, too much effort has the opposite effect. It makes you blend in with every other guy. And in her world, there's no shortage of guys giving effort. She wakes up to good morning beautiful messages. She posts a picture and her DMs blow up. Everywhere she looks, someone's trying to get her attention. That's the background noise she lives in. Now imagine you join that same chorus. You send the same texts, you follow the same script, you act just like the rest. What happens? You disappear into the noise, you don't stand out, you're just another voice in a crowded room. But here's where it gets interesting. Imagine being in a loud room where everyone is shouting. Suddenly, one person doesn't shout. He lowers his voice, he speaks calmly, he whispers. That whisper gets noticed, not because it's loud, but because it's different. That's what happens when you stop chasing. That's what your silence does. You break the pattern. See, women are not just attracted to men, they're attracted to contrast. The man who acts differently, who doesn't compete, who steps out of the noise, is the one who stays in her mind. While every other guy is busy throwing words at her, you give her nothing. And that nothing, it speaks louder than everything. It's not about playing games, it's about positioning. You don't have to prove you're worth her time by overgiving. You prove it by being the rare one who doesn't need her validation. That rare silence makes her wonder. She notices the gap. She asks herself why you're not like the others. And curiosity is the start of missing someone. The truth is, men who make women miss them don't scream for attention. They create an absence. They step back, and in that space, her mind does the work. She replays conversations. She notices the lack of your energy. She compares you to the noise and realizes the difference. And the difference is what makes you unforgettable. So if you want her to miss you, don't try harder to be noticed. Do the opposite. Step out of the noise. Let silence be your message. Because in a world full of men shouting to be seen, the whisper, the calm, rare, quiet presence always wins. That's the secret most men never understand until it's too late. 2. Make your presence rare, like gold. Here's the uncomfortable truth. If your attention is always available, it's worthless. Think about gold. People value gold not because it's shiny, but because it's rare. If gold were lying on the street in piles, nobody would treasure it. It would lose its meaning. Same with your time, same with your energy. Most guys believe the opposite. They think being constantly available is how you win her heart. They text back instantly. They cancel plans with friends just to see her. They think proximity equals value, but in reality, what she sees is a man with nothing better to do, a man whose life revolves around her. And when something is too easy to get, it loses its shine. Let me give you an example. Remember when you were a kid and you got a new toy? At first, it was the most exciting thing in the world. You couldn't stop playing with it. But after a while, once you had full access to it, the thrill faded. The toy was still there, but the excitement was gone. That's what happens when your presence is constant. Now flip it. Imagine you rarely see a friend, but every time you do, it feels special. The moments stand out. The conversations stay in your memory longer. That's what scarcity does. It makes presence valuable. It's the same with women. If you're always around, she doesn't have the space to miss you. But when you're rare, when you're not always in her pocket, your presence takes on weight. She notices when you're gone. She notices when you're not texting back right away. She starts to feel the gap. And that feeling is where missing you begins. Here's the trick. It's not about ignoring her on purpose. It's about building a life so full that you're not always available. You have your own goals, your own passions, your own circle. Your presence becomes precious because it's not endless. When she gets your attention, it feels earned. And people always value what they have to earn. So if you want her to miss you, stop being common. Stop being on demand like fast food. Become like gold, rare, precious. Something she can't just reach for whenever she feels like it. That rarity makes her pay attention. That scarcity makes her curious. And curiosity is the first stage of missing you. Because here's the truth. Women don't miss men who are always around. They miss the ones who aren't. 3. Stop explaining. Make her experience your value. Here's a mistake almost every man makes. He tries to convince her of his worth with words. He'll say things like, "I'm different from other guys. I'll never hurt you. I'll always be loyal." And at first, it might sound sweet. But over time, words lose power. They become noise. The truth is, you can't talk your way into her feelings. You have to make her feel them. Think about confidence. If someone keeps saying, I'm confident, you instantly doubt it. Real confidence doesn't need a speech. It's shown in how a man walks into a room, how he holds eye contact, how he stays calm when things get rough. Confidence is felt, not explained, and value works the same way. Women don't miss men because of what they say. They miss men because of how they make them feel when they're around. So, instead of saying you're loyal, show her you don't need every woman's attention to feel worthy. Instead of saying you're strong, show it by not breaking when she pulls away or tests you. Instead of saying you're different, live differently. Here's the part most men overlook. Missing you comes from experiences, not speeches. If every moment she spends with you feels steady, exciting, peaceful, or magnetic, then when you're gone, her mind replays those feelings. That's when she starts to crave your presence. That's when she begins to miss you. And you don't need to be perfect. In fact, being too perfect comes off fake. It's about being authentic. A man who doesn't need to brag. A man who's not rattled when she's distant. A man who doesn't chase approval. That's the man who stays in her head. So stop selling yourself like a product. Don't pitch her your qualities like you're making a commercial. Just live in a way where your presence speaks for you. Because when she feels it, not hears it, that's when your absence becomes heavy. That's when she misses you, not because of what you told her, but because of what you made her feel. 4. Embrace uncertainty. Keep her guessing. Here's a little secret about attraction. Certainty kills it. When everything about you is predictable, the spark fades. She knows when you'll text. She knows what you'll say. She knows exactly how you'll react. And once she can predict you perfectly, the mystery is gone. And when the mystery is gone, so is the desire. Humans may say they want stability, but in love, it's the unknown that keeps emotions alive. Think about your favorite TV show. If you always knew the ending, would you keep watching? Probably not. You'd get bored. The suspense, the tension, the questions, those are what keep you hooked. Attraction works the same way. If she knows your every move, she won't miss you. She won't think about you. But if you're not always predictable, if sometimes you step back, if sometimes you surprise her by focusing on yourself instead of her, that's when she starts to wonder. Why hasn't he texted yet? What's he doing right now? Who's he with? Those questions replay in her head, and the more she asks them, the more she misses you. Now don't get it twisted. Uncertainty doesn't mean playing childish games or ignoring her on purpose. It means living a life that doesn't orbit around her. It means not always being available. It means keeping parts of yourself that she doesn't fully own yet. That little bit of distance is what creates attraction. The truth is, women don't miss men who are predictable. They miss the ones who keep them guessing. The ones who don't reveal everything at once. The ones who leave just enough mystery that her mind can't stop replaying it. So stop being the man she can read like a book. Be the story she can't put down, because once she can't predict you, that's when missing you becomes automatic. 5. Build an energy that stays with her. Here's something powerful. People don't remember every word you said, but they remember how you made them feel. That's what sticks. That's what lingers when you're gone. Think about the people from your past, the ones who still come to mind years later. Why do you remember them? It's probably not because of specific conversations. It's because of their energy, the way they made you feel in their presence. Maybe they made you laugh in a way nobody else did. Maybe they made you feel calm when the world felt heavy. That energy leaves a mark. Women are no different. If you want her to miss you, stop focusing only on what to say. Focus on what she feels around you. Are you calm when others panic? Do you carry yourself with quiet confidence instead of trying to prove yourself? Do you make her feel safe, excited, or alive? That's what she'll hold on to when you're not there. Here's the beauty of it. Energy isn't about trying harder, it's about being more. Be the man who doesn't need to dominate the room, but still gets noticed. Be the man who can sit in silence without feeling awkward. Be the man whose presence feels rare, grounded, steady. Because when you leave, it won't be your words she replays. It'll be that feeling. And feelings are sticky. They stick to memory. They haunt her in quiet moments. That's why some people are unforgettable. Not because of what they gave, but because of what they carried. So, if you want to be missed, don't just be another guy who talks big. Be the man whose energy lingers. The man whose presence feels like something she can't find anywhere else. That's what keeps you alive in her mind when you're not there. 6. Use your absence to grow. This one is crucial. Disappearing by itself won't make her miss you. A lot of men go, no contact, thinking time alone is enough. But if you vanish and come back the same man, nothing changes. Why would she see you differently if you're still the same? Absence only works when it's paired with growth. If she doesn't see a change in you, she won't feel anything new. But if you come back sharper, more confident, more grounded, suddenly she notices. Suddenly she starts questioning herself. Did I misjudge him? Did I underestimate what he was becoming? That's when missing you really takes root. So instead of waiting around, use your absence as fuel. Build yourself, hit the gym, sharpen your skills, learn something new, improve your life piece by piece. Not for her, but for you. Because when you live better, it shows. You carry yourself differently. People treat you differently. Your energy shifts. And here's the trick. You don't even need to announce it. Growth speaks on its own. She'll see it in the way you look, the way you talk, the way you carry yourself. Maybe she'll scroll past your photo online and notice. Maybe she'll hear from others about what you're doing. Either way, it'll spark that thought. Did I let go of someone rare? That thought stings. And that sting, that's missing you. Not because you disappeared, but because you grew while she stood still. 7. Leave imprints that trigger memory. Here's where psychology gets interesting. People don't just miss you, they miss the moments tied to you. A smell, a song, a phrase, and suddenly you're in their head again. That's how memory works. It connects emotions to little triggers. Think about it. Have you ever smelled a perfume that instantly took you back to someone? Or heard a song that made you relive a moment? That's not an accident. That's the brain replaying emotions linked to those triggers. And women experience the same thing. Now here's the secret. You don't need to force this. You don't need to play games. Just live authentically in a way that leaves imprints. The way you laugh, the little things you always say, the calmness you carry in chaos. These become part of her memory of you. Later, when life throws those triggers at her, boom, you're back in her mind. She hears that song, she smells that cologne, someone repeats a phrase you used to say, and instantly, you're there. She doesn't just remember you, she feels you, and feelings are what create longing. That's why some men become ghosts women can't shake off. They leave traces in memory, they leave echoes in emotions, and when those echoes resurface, missing you becomes something she can't control. So don't try to be unforgettable by force, just be real and make sure the energy you carry is worth remembering. Because the memories she replays won't be neutral, they'll bring back the emotions you gave her, and that's the secret she'll never admit. She doesn't miss your texts, she misses the man whose presence left a mark. So here's the truth, making a woman miss you isn't about begging, chasing, or proving your worth with words. It's about creating space, carrying energy she can't forget, and living in a way that makes your presence rare and unforgettable. She may never admit it, but deep down, she will feel it. If this video gave you value, hit the like button right now. It helps the channel grow. Subscribe to Psychology Insight for more powerful lessons on relationships, attraction, and human behavior. And let me know in the comments, have you ever made someone miss you without even trying? I'd love to hear your story.